Howdy Howlers, it's Sako Toomey, also known as Casvoid, and today we're going to be reading the Banishment chapter in Basic Witches by Jess Zimmerman and Jaya Saxena. All right. Hello to Jenny. So good to see you. So glad you're here. We'll wait a couple of minutes for people to mill in. Hello, Katerina. Interesting meeting yesterday, I think. Oh, my coffee is too hot to drink. My coffee is too hot to drink. I need to clean up my living room. That is the thing I need to do. Really, the mess is the cords. And I have to drag the cords everywhere. And they just keep getting more and more tangled. And my system no longer sees my fancy schmancy microphone anymore for some reason. Yes. Hi, Joanne. So good to see you. I don't normally see you this time of day. I am honored that you are here. Oh, I want coffee, but it is too hot. No. What is no? What is no? No hot coffee? That's definitely a thing. So, if it's okay if I talk about yesterday, so we are in a coven together, like an internet coven, and just got home, so I haven't gotten that far yet. Yes, I get you. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, and coffee too hot. Yeah. So we did like a techno ritual together where and this is a common practice where we create a safe space and we talk about our intentions and all the worries and stuff around the intention. Good morning, doll. So good to see you. You're not normally up this early. So I thought it was interesting. I have a lot to think about for the next couple of weeks, I think. Because I also went to another coven meeting. Well, coven meeting. I don't know. We do magic stuff together, but it's like, I don't know the peoples. How are you doing? Feeling much better, thank you. Multiple covens, yeah. And she talked, I felt called out by some of the stuff that she was talking about some of the things that we need to overcome in order to like really appreciate life. And it's like 10 goalposts that you need to hit, and there's like 3 that I need to like work on. Ohayo gozaimasu. O genki desu ka? Also, I had a really good talk with Tani yesterday. So I'm really excited about like a public talk that we're going to do regarding the differences between tulpas and altars. Hey, yo, Kat. So good to see you. Hecky. Yeah. Exciting. So, yeah, yesterday was a trip and a half. I was basically in front of my computer in a call or on screen from like 10 in the morning till like 6 or 7 at night. And I was beat. I was super beat. Hello, Raven. I've had some interesting interactions with my writer tulpa. Oh, I would love to hear. If you're willing to talk about it, of course. We also don't have to talk about it publicly. You can DM me and we can talk about what interesting stuff. Hi, friends. I'm here. I've been here the whole time, just cleaning house and listening in. No problemo. No problemo. Today we're going to talk about banishment. And mostly we're going to start with expelling social toxicity. How to cure your allergy to people who suck. All right. I think now is a good time. Witches were the original healers. The unlicensed doctors and anatomists of Western history, as Barbara Ehrenreich and Deirdre English put it in Witches, Midwives, and Nurses, A History of Woman Healers. The witch had to be a bit of a scientist, keenly observing which remedies helped, which ones harmed, and which ones didn't do anything much. I absolutely agree. You gotta be scientific about your practice. And that's something I appreciate about chaos magic, is how like objectively it looks at magic. And when it comes to self-care, like food, sleep, beauty treatments, a lot of us keep up that empirical tradition. Think of all the times you and your friends have said things like, "Oh, I get so hungry by noon if I have anything sugary in the morning," or "Oil cleansing makes my skin go crazy," or "If I nap for longer than 20 minutes, I'll be a zombie." Nobody wants to hurt someone else's feelings, and women in particular are socialized to be obliging. But you also have a limited amount of mental and social energy. Wasting it on people who bring you down is like being lactose intolerant but eating so much cheese every day that you're too full for anything else. Okay, that sounds wonderful, but you can see how it wouldn't be the greatest idea. It'll only leave you feeling worse and leave less room for something nutritive. That's an interesting conjugation of that word. So how do you figure out which people bring you down and then limit the effect they have on you? Dr. Witch might prescribe the same thing that healers recommend for diagnosing sensitivities: an elimination diet, followed by gradual reintroduction, and, if necessary, careful avoidance, plus soothing remedies to help you when avoidance is impossible. All right. This is Which is an interesting idea, like treating people like you would treat food. Weird conjugation, yeah. Yeah, no problem. All right, so here we go. Elimination. How long can you reasonably go without seeing this person? The answer depends on your situation. You can't avoid your boss for as long as you can a casual acquaintance or a parent who lives out of state. Pick a plausible time period and avoid that person consciously and deliberately throughout. Notice your reactions during this detox. How do you feel when they're not around? Did you relax as soon as you gave yourself permission not to talk to them for a while? Conversely, do you miss them or regret their absence? Reintroduction. After your elimination period, plan a controlled, finite exposure to the person. Something where you have an excuse to leave after you set a span of time. Notice how you feel after interacting with them, comparing to how you felt during the elimination period. If you immediately feel tired, bummed out, annoyed, angry, self-critical, or some other negative emotion, and you weren't feeling that way previously, you may have isolated this person as the source of your mental funk. So what to do now? There are two options, avoidance and fortification. Yeah, I am in the same boat. A break from my mom kind of helps me just, I mean, we're going to talk about fortification, but I can take my mom in small doses, and if it's more than small doses, then it really wears me down. All right, avoidance. So that's the whole idea, right? So you eliminate, so you see what life is like without them. I picked Disney as our meeting place. Really good choice because we both love it. Oh, awesome. It's also a neutral ground, right? It's not an area that is specifically you, and it's not an area that's specifically her. Like, it's kind of a neutral ground, which is ideal. Small doses, yeah. And then reintroduction, right? So in small doses, see, in a neutral place, absolutely, see how it affects you. Like, if it affects you negatively, then obviously you need to take hold on. Not at the moment. Doing the stream thing. The food analogy works well, as socialization is a form of human sustenance. And just like in the case of food, what you take in, whether eaten or taken in through socializing, has radical effects. Absolutely. I think that is a pretty apt description of what's going on here. All right, avoidance. Unless you truly think that this person is unwittingly doing a specifically hurtful thing, and that calling them on it will make them stop, there's no reason to tell the person explicitly what they're doing wrong. You are under no obligation to explain that you don't want to hang out because their attitude makes you feel bad. Sometimes people just don't mesh, and gently drifting apart is an adequate and less aggressive solution. Give yourself permission to decline invitations or requests, firmly but non-specifically. Sorry, I won't be able to. No further explanation needed. Or you can fortify yourself. If there are aspects of the acquaintance that you still value, for instance, if you're happy spending time with the person in a group but not one-on-one, perform the boundaries spell on page 101 to insulate yourself against their negative effects. If this is a person you can't avoid, don't despair. You just need the mental magic equivalent of lactate to tolerate their toxic crap. Designate a preventative treatment for when you can't avoid them. For instance, if it's a coworker or boss, keep a bowl of M&Ms on your desk and take one when you are forced to encounter the person. As you chew, tell yourself, I am fortified and I am strong. Give yourself permission to end the encounter as swiftly as you can before the remedy wears off. You get dragged down by a negative social circle. Yeah, exactly. Staring into the abyss and it stared back, yeah. So let's say that you decide to drift apart. A ritual to move through loss, because you can mourn the friendship that you had. There might have been benefits to it, but there's a toxicity that you can't stomach. Remember, the opposite of loss is creation. Use this act of creativity to acknowledge all your feelings and start the process of moving through them. What you'll need is a photo or a memento of the person or thing you are mourning. Tape and black and white and red string. Sometimes there's no such thing as a quick fix. When you are experiencing loss and grief and not just following a death, this could be the toll of having someone leave your life. Only time and, well, your feelings will make you feel better. Still, the stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance do not happen linearly. You may feel them all at once, or you may think you've hit acceptance only to find yourself angry moments later. This ritual will help you calm and center yourself in the storm of grief. Place the photo or memento on the table in front of you. Tape the ends of the 3 pieces of string to the table's edge and begin to braid them. As you braid, contemplate what each of the 3 colors represents. Black for death, white for life, red for rebirth. Voice every feeling that comes to you, no matter how simple. If none come to mind, ask yourself these questions to get your thoughts flowing. Do you miss this person or thing? Do you feel guilty that you don't miss them? Are you angry that they're gone or that they weren't kinder to you? Are you scared of what will happen next? When you've finished braiding, knot each end of the braid while speaking the name of the person, animal, or concept you're mourning. Tie your bracelet around your wrist and wear it for a week. Then cut it off, wrap it around the photo or memento you used while making it, and store it in an envelope or box whenever you keep things safe. That's sure. I just realized I've gotten used to waiting for late packages, and I flinch toward the window whenever I see a large truck, only to remember I haven't ordered anything recently. Dark magic of emotional abuse. How to rediscover your strength. Being in an emotionally abusive relationship can feel like living under a curse. An abusive partner has the power to rewrite your sense of reality. to convince you that they're the only one who could love you, that you're helpless without them, that you're crazy for objecting to how they treat you, and that they'll change. Even the most powerful witches are susceptible to the dark wizardry of abuse. There's no shame in being enchanted or imprisoned, but you must and can escape. Truly overthrowing this evil magic, not to mention recognizing the full scope of its effect, can take all your powers and the powers of your coven. If you're in immediate danger, don't try to tough it out with magic. Call on family, friends, or therapists to help, or call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. After you end such a relationship, the curse tends to linger. You may hear your abuser's voice in your head long after they're gone, or find yourself seeking out similarly destructive situations because you've been enchanted to believe that you don't deserve better. A ritual can help you solidify a clearer state of mind and banish the after effects of your past relationship so that you can make room in your life for positive friends and partners. Here are some abusive spells that can last. Here are some abusive spells that can have long-lasting effects and quick, silent counterspells that can help clear away those toxic feelings for good. So you can't avoid. I put up walls, and I know you are a wall erector as well. And then I leak out interaction. All right, first evil spell, illusion. Abusers conjure phantoms and can even convince you that you can see them too. They may be jealous of imaginary rivals. Why were you talking to your coworker for so long last night? Or blame imagined behavior for their emotions. I wouldn't be so angry if you weren't being so irresponsible. They may chastise you for things you haven't done, belittle you for decisions you didn't make, or overreact to mistakes that aren't serious. I need to know how to do this better in this particular case. Oh. Which is interesting because I thought you were the ice queen. I thought this was like your specialty. I think maybe the elimination diet might be a wise step forward to see where the line is. Because once you know where the line is, that's where you erect the wall. So you can let in the benefit, but don't let the benefit be a lure where they can trap you into toxic behavior. All right, the counterspell for gaslighting. Take a moment alone, if possible. Pass a hand over your face as if lifting a veil. If you aren't alone, imagine yourself doing this action. Find the most brightly colored or cleanest white object in your field of vision and fix your gaze on it. Then say in your head, I see what I see, you cannot deceive me. If you wear glasses, contacts, or sunglasses, wear them while performing the ritual to charge them with the feeling of clarity. The next time you put them on, their stored power will enable you to fight back even harder against the abuser's fantasies that you've internalized. Yeah, if you would like a friend to hold your hand while while you do this, I'd be happy to help you out, man. Provided we're still friends. All right, binding. I bind back, really. Here we go. Abusers may try to make you financially or emotionally dependent upon them and may try to isolate you from your family or friends so that you have no one else to lean on and no one to give you a reality check about your partner's behavior. Recovering relationships with loved ones and reestablishing a support network after the abuser is out of your life can be precarious and scary. Counterspell. Envision an unbreakable cord of light extending from you to the people who love you. Anytime you recall your abuser convincing you to disconnect with those people or saying that they don't love you, imagine tugging on the cord to send a signal. Are you still with me? Then imagine receiving a tug in reply, yes, I am. To remind you of this unbreakable bond, keep a symbolic bit of string in your pocket or designate a necklace or bracelet for this purpose. Doll, you magnificent troubadour. You're awesome and don't let anything tell you otherwise. Indeed. Indeed. Don't be afraid to ask for support. If you need it, of course. But you don't have to go it alone. The wall of ice. Doll. Abusers may seek revenge for perceived slice of disobedience by freezing you out, pouting and sulking, giving you the silent treatment, withholding sex, or neglecting you emotionally. Even after you've chosen not to interact with them, the chill can remain for a long time afterward. Turn the wall of ice into something you can control. Imagine the abuser's criticism and insults as a raging fire surrounding you. Breathe in for a count of 5 and imagine the fire being blown away and extinguished by a freezing wind. Say in your head, I thank you for the gift of your absence and this space it has made for me. And lastly, mind control. If you spend enough time being blamed, yelled at, mocked, insulted, criticized, or ignored, you may come to believe you deserve it, especially if you're socially isolated. Some abusers will even tell you outright that you're crazy or question your memory of events. You never told me no. And it can feel impossible to put your perception to rights. Also, I will note that Katarina is like the best pep talker. Excellent pep talker. Best pep talker. All right, here's the counterspell. Hold your breath for a count of 5 and imagine sinking down through shifting water and laying your hand on the solid ocean floor. Touch the nearest solid natural material, preferably stone or wood, although metal will do. If you can't do this without attracting attention, touch your own hand, elbow, or knee. Say in your head, I am grounded and solid. I know what is true. Isolation is powerful. It changed my brain. I would have to say the same. I think my, heart. I think this past year has really let me kind of handle my own shit. Without being manipulated. I had friends who were helpful. Oh, here we go. How to hex. The joy of hex. Oh, I don't know that song. All right. This symbolic hexing is for people in your life who have hurt you. It probably won't call down divine retribution for wrongdoers, but it will provide emotional relief for you. Yes. Feel them good vibes. Hexing had a moment in the spotlight back in June 2016, when a judge sentenced Stanford University student Brock Turner to a mere 6 months in jail for sexual assault, an appalling light slap on the wrist for infuriated women everywhere, especially after the victim wrote a heart-rending letter about her experience. Angry witches tried to even the scales the best way they knew how, with a mass hex. This year has been up and down in my recovery, but I'm not alone. Amen to that. I just saw you're here. I saw your comment on the Yule stream about Stream Power Giraffe. You're the first person I've known who they are. Oh. Love to all, but I need to go. This talk is too much for my mental health today. No problem, Jenny. I love you. Take care. Marco knows many things. Smart fella. A Facebook event titled The Hexing of Brock Turner, created by a witch named Melanie Hexen. What are the odds? Instructed would-be hexers to wrap a photo of Turner with a black string. Hang on. Oh, I see. Wrap a photo of Turner with a black string and then burn it in a black candle while reciting a spell that called for impotence, nightmares, and constant pain of pine needles in your guts. Did the hex cause Turner to suffer impotence and pine needle gut pain in perpetuity? Probably not. But it gave the 600 or so women who RSVP'd something active and symbolic to do without an outrageous miscarriage. Yay. Sorry, I got distracted. An outrageous miscarriage of justice that otherwise made them feel small and helpless. This symbolic hex, inspired by Hexen's ritual, can do the same for something in your personal life. Hold or rest the picture in front of you and say aloud the hurts and wrongs that the person has done. Address the picture directly, saying, I accuse you, for each accusation. Light the candle, saying, what you have done to me, may it rebound on you tenfold. I curse you to suffer the consequences of your ugliness and cruelty. As the candle burns, picture the person getting smaller and smaller. Carefully pick up the candle and drip the black wax onto the pitcher. As you drip, say aloud, I condemn you, one time for each of the accusations you spoke earlier. Continue onto the picture until the picture is obliterated completely. Yep, that is a hex. I don't use the rule of 3 or the tenfold thing. May you realize the horror of your actions is a favorite of mine. Oh, hold on. Take care, Jenny. I like exploring the musics. Oh my god. Ooh, different types of demons. And it's got little illustrations. Yeah. Kind of fun. We're all set different stages of recovery. It's healthy to know when to tap out. I frequently find mecto amore wedged firmly in my brain. Good morning, Dahlia. So good to see you. We're talking about banishment and hexing today. Too many good songs for me to pick one for my brain. Yeah. I think I'm getting better at drinking my weekly cleansing mead, but I still don't really appreciate it. Oh, I treat it less like taking a dose of castor oil, but still like medicine. What kind of mead are you using? I'm not much of a hexer either. I'm much of a... I would prefer to bind. So it kind of like isolates themselves, and it has to be pretty bad if I'm trying to hex. It has to be really bad. I can think of no greater punishment than a clear look in the mirror. Oh, shadow work can be terrifying, but at least they have a chance not to suck. Binding is more up my alley also. Right on. I think psychic attacks are more toxic. Because I have seen how it affects people, especially witches who are aware they're being attacked psychically, being hexed. It's a cider mead, apple juice cider used as mixed part of liquid to provide a different flavor. Oh, so it's an apple thing, apple mead. Interesting. Team binding. Also monster ranching, yeah. Although this bothers me, it's a minor thing. No need to hex around, just healthy walk away. Yeah. Yeah. I think there are times where here's my hex, give him the finger. Yeah, no kidding. Honestly, I don't know what I'm expecting. I'm just not a drinker, so adding this to my spiritual practice was more a dedication to the deity I've largely bound myself to. Yeah, but if you don't have to, like, why are you doing it? I guess I like the idea of it rather than the experience, if that makes sense. Yeah. I do understand that. So having seen the effects of psychic attacks, I think it's better to just like isolate them, to bind them from hurting themselves or hurting others. And yeah, for instance, the last time I had to bind someone, um, I was in a really messed up situation in that a man was a teenage boy, excuse me, was cheating on his girlfriend with me. And she got mad, understandably so. So she threatened to blow up his car while I was in it. And that was a bit much. So I bound her for 5 years and prevented her from hurting herself and hurting others. And I bumped into her at a mall. And after I had let her go, basically, after I unbound her, and she explained herself and I explained myself, and we came to a very good understanding. There was no bad blood. Like, dare we say we became friends because we both had the shared experience of that asshole that, was juggling us. Sometimes a hex is the right thing. I have to feel the righteousness, or at least get the okay from a guide. Yeah, that this is the best way to deal with the identified threat. Yeah. Like, is this a reasonable reaction? Sometimes I gotta ask my guides, like, is this the right reaction to what I'm feeling? Is what I'm feeling a proper reaction to what is going down? Like, is it my mental health, or is this objectively a bad situation? I don't want to hex based on flawed projection. Hear, hear. It is the last resort. There are others tools. Binding can buy time for subjects to write their path. Yeah. I feel like binding is a good chance for them to introspect. But the idea of being faced with the horrors of their actions is being able to look in the mirror and see your shadow. I think I was hexed for 5 years. By my first fiance. He had a lot of my personal effects. He also knew my brain inside and out. And I think he hexed my relationships for many years. The curse of the 90-day crush, that was definitely a thing. We don't want to hex based on flawed projection. Yeah. That's like the primary thing is you got to know what the truth is. And granted, your truth is going to differ from their truth. Reality is subjective, right? So when there, I had a client or a friend rather, who their daughter was kidnapped by the father, and rather than by an abusive father, no less. And so rather than hex the father, I thought it better to protect the daughter, like so that the daughter could be brought home safe and yeah, basically, so that the daughter would come back home safe. It's like Ghost Rider's penance stare. Experience all the pain you have perpetrated. Yeah, same message. All right, let's talk about demons. If you're plagued by bad brain habits, but can't quite articulate just what is making you feel so down, try envisioning your mental patterns as demons you can fight. Once you know who they are, you can banish them by name. You may want to invest and describe your own, but here are a few we conjured up. Maybe they'll seem familiar. Lob and Lasura. These twins work together to make you feel worthless, no matter what you do. Lob is the demon of apathy, convincing you that no matter how hard you work or how much you try, you will always be worthless and undesirable. Lasura attacks from the other side, telling you that the minute you stop working and ease up on yourself, everyone around you will see you for the fraud you are. Austriacs. This demon is a trickster who can use its power to alter your perceptions of reality. Its favorite way of playing this game is by persuading you that all your friends are mad at you, don't like you, or are laughing at you behind your back. Or all three if it's feeling playful. I did notice that Miss Spence was a victim of that particular demon somewhat recently. Desponon. Yeah, okay. This demon feeds off of the positive energy and self-esteem. Sapped of those qualities, you think of yourself as inherently unworthy of good things and are willing to settle for what is in front of you because you have no right to expect better. I have an existential crisis when it comes to that demon. I definitely have an existential crisis regarding that demon. Oh, this is a tactic that I've actually used. For years, I've conjured the things that torment me and imagined my inner defenses as a samurai performing an Iajitsu strike to eliminate them. Nice. I mean, the demon in charge of everyone hates you. Yeah. Vindicar. This demon thrives on the misery of others and encourages you to view others' sorrow as your gain. It makes you see success, professional, personal, or emotional, as a ladder with room for only one at the top, and blocks your access to empathy, forcing you to revel in the failures of others. Averixas. or something. This demon also enjoys feeling bigger than others, but puffs itself up by acquiring new things, luxury goods, grand experiences, even desirable people, not for the pleasure or usefulness of those things, but merely for show. By taking the best things, Avarixus believes it is bettered, than when all it really does is mask its own insecurity. This culpation. This demon at once convinces you that you are more powerful than anything and that your power only causes pain and suffering. Ooh, feeling called out. Holy crap. It convinces you that everything bad happens is your fault, while anything good is a fluke that has nothing to do with you. Culpation thrives on false feelings of guilt. I went through a thing where every time I chanted at the Butsudan, someone died. And when it started being people close to me, that's when I stopped chanting. So that is definitely something that I have been affected by in the past. I think this describes a problem some people have in terms of personifying their problems in a way that makes them less able to see the systemic problems. Ooh. Like, when is it systemic and when is it personal? Or how do we make something personal? How do we make what is systemic personal, right? Had a fascination with Bushido culture when I was younger, and some of that obsession I never quite grew out of. My dad does Iaido, so I'm familiar with the form. I want to heal my relationship with my little sister. Childhood was hard, and I was sick, angry, and thought it was all wrong. I was all wrong, so I pushed her away. Mom added to the divide, I guess. So suggestions. Well, there's one more. Frank. Frank is just a dick. Don't listen to Frank. Oh, that last bit. You are always destructive when you act with agency. Good can only come when you do not take a hand in events. Hits fucking close to home, yeah. Do not want to be called out like this. Yeah. Woof. Well, it's a lot of little steps, turtle friend. Start with yourself and see if you are aligned with the qualities you want in a sister. Hear, hear. For one, so the relationship between my sister and I as children was terrible. Oh my God. My sister and I were terrible to each other throughout our childhood. But it wasn't until she moved out and joined the military and got married and did the whole life thing that we bonded. I didn't use any spells or anything like that, but it was very much so a, well, she would do this for me sort of situation. So if she showed that, if she did something for me that I did not ask for, I did not, or if I did ask for it, I wasn't expecting her to say yes. Because I have to be pretty desperate, really, to ask my sister for something. I am not consistent, and she may want that. I'm not sure when I have healed enough. Oh, reliability is a big issue with my siblings. I try to be a good model for them. It's still a lot of work. Yeah, I feel you. Trust the process. The desire to heal the relationship is already received by the universe. So I just assumed, like, basically, I mean, I knew the negative aspects of my sister for sure. I still know them. For her negative aspects are still quite prevalent, but I feel like her humanity is better. She's having her third baby and I went to send gifts, but she said she needs nothing. Then provide support and maybe send diapers. Because diapers will get used. No matter what. I don't know the line between giving her space and reaching out. Which means you might have to work on yourself a little bit more. Or have the talk with her regarding why you were so angry and why the relationship was so toxic when you were younger. Oh my gosh, I'm getting all these notifications. What is going on? I need to mute this one server. Hold on. Mute server. Mute. Okay, I don't know how long it's going to mute it, but all right. Yeah, don't rush. Yeah, postcards. But I don't fully understand. If she says, I don't need anything, then she is clearly putting up a boundary. And I recommend not passing that boundary. You can kind of like, from your standpoint, that isn't, you can be like, I love you. I'm here for you. Postpartum's a bitch. Like, it's, you can reach out in small ways. By postcard or by text message is a great way of doing that. When I say I'm wary of personified problems, I'm pointing to how it's easier to make people fear the image of a Muslim than to educate people on internal relations, cultural, etc. Yeah. Yeah. And that is really obvious now that you say it, yeah. But personifying your problems also makes them easier to target. So you can use this as a benefit, or it can be more toxic behavior, right? So at what point, like, do you become a racist when your personification, when you perceive the race as a problem, and you personify it, then at what point does it become a problem? What I mean, the one word says volumes. Yeah, she's projecting a shield. No contact. Yeah. A good way to start the process when she's indicating she doesn't want your help is to leave the offer of support open-ended. I'm here if and when you need something. Yeah. Then see if she reaches out and for what. And what I do is I definitely mention how hard it is to reach out. Like, I know it's hard to reach out, but if you need anything, like, feel free to, I mean, the door is open, right? Okay, Nightbot, I am drinking coffee. It is 11 o'clock. 11:01, in fact. Oh, what a heavy topic today, huh? So, if you liked this video at any point, please hit the like button. If you would like to see what we talk about for the rest of this book, we're starting to come towards the end. Please hit subscribe and maybe even ring that bell, and with the possibility that YouTube will actually notify you. And I will catch you guys on the flip side.